I do need to call out one of the greatest myths out there. Job searching can be overwhelming. But with these 5 super powerful job search strategies, you're going to be landing your dream job in no time. Hello and welcome back to my channel where I help you slay your career and cultivate the successful life you deserve. For the best career advancement advice, click that subscribe button plus a notification bell. I release a new video every Tuesday. You are here for job search tips to help you get hired. But before I jump into helping you find your job search strategy, there's just one caveat. These job search strategies can and should be combined to have maximum impact. So get your coffee and settle in, my friend, because you're gonna wanna watch this video the whole way through to get them all. And when you do stay to the very end, I do have a great resource to give to you that you're going to need no matter which job search strategy you use. Now, if you're ready, click that like button and let's get right into it. The first job search strategy is one that so many people ignore, and that is to know what you're looking for. There's 2 things specifically that you need to identify at this stage in the game before you actually go into any actual searching. And I know it seems really counterintuitive, but investing time here is gonna have huge payoff in the long run. There's 2 things that you want to identify. You want to identify your ideal role and your ideal company. If you don't know what role and where you actually want to be, it's going to be very challenging for you to actually get where you want to go. If you already know what your job is because you've been around for a while, that is so much easier. But if you're earlier in your career and you don't know what your first job is going to be, invest time into understanding what your most interesting first step is going to be so that you can focus on that. No matter where you're at in your career, you are also going to want to invest time into understanding which companies you would like to work for. Do your research here. Find out about who they are, what their values are, what's important to them. But most importantly, also know what you can uniquely bring into that role at that company that is going to make you a fantastic hire. If you do need to deep dive into understanding your ideal workplace a little bit more, I do have a video on that you can check out. I will link it in the description so you can watch it after this one. But once you have these 2 things squared away, you can actually get into the active job search strategies. The second job search strategy is to complete applications. And this is the one that if you're actively looking for a job, I can almost guarantee you are already doing. There are so many resources for this, like LinkedIn, Indeed, AngelList, Monster, Ladders. There's really an indefinite number of job advertising boards on the internet these days. When you find a job that you're interested in, you will simply put in your application online. This, however, is subjecting you to the applicant tracking system, or the ATS. Most companies use an ATS to automatically scan resumes that come in, and it assigns them a grade. So making sure that you're using keywords that are used in the job advertisement are very important if you're using this strategy as part of your job search strategy. I do need to call out one of the greatest myths out there that's touted by many career coaches, and that is that 70% of jobs aren't advertised. I actually fell down the rabbit hole of research on this one, and it just traced back to a claim that someone made in an article one day. I didn't find any peer-reviewed research that actually indicated this. However, research does indicate that 85% of jobs are filled by either being found or by a referral, which means that if you're limiting yourself to only submitting job applications, you only have a 15% chance of getting hired. I'm not saying not to apply for jobs, but you're definitely going to want to layer this with other strategies to increase your likelihood of getting an interview and getting hired by your dream company. And that transitions me very nicely into the third strategy, which is to network. And I know what you're thinking, Jennifer, you're not giving me any new information here. Every career coach out there is telling me to network. Well, first of all, it's great advice. So we're all just sharing great advice with you. You're welcome. Now, if for some reason you haven't heard of this job search strategy before, networking really means starting with the people that you know, your friends, your family, former colleagues, people that you went to school with, and seeing what inroads that you have within your current network. The old school way of networking when you were looking for a job was to go to a whole bunch of networking events and meeting a whole bunch of people. You know those old school networking events. Everyone's standing around on their phone, trying to talk to people without talking to people, looking really important, and everyone is there for the same reason. everyone wants a job or they want to sell something. But where are the people that are actually making a hiring decision? I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I hate going to those events unless I'm someone who already knows everyone in the room. And that's why I'm a huge advocate and I teach my clients to do something that I call precision networking. Precision networking is essentially using tactics to meet and develop relationships with the people that can have the impact that you want to have on your career. Precision networking is an incredibly powerful job search strategy to help you get referrals and even to build relationships directly with a hiring manager and the recruiter so you can bypass the ATS and the recruiter. Sorry to my recruiter friends, but sometimes it happens. What I love most about precision networking is that it happens both online and in the real world. And you do it in a way that is completely authentic to you. Online, there are unlimited resources like LinkedIn and online communities that you can use to meet people virtually before you meet them in real life. But in person, we still have professional associations, company-hosted conferences, and yes, networking events if they are your thing that you can go and meet people. And what I particularly love about precision networking is it allows you to get to know people online so that when you are at an in-person event, you're not in a room full of people that you don't know, you're in a room of friends. If this is something that is interesting to you, I do talk about this in my free online community called the Strive Squad over on Facebook. The third job search strategy is to go to career fairs. I wanted to mention this one, even though it's not one that I've personally used and it's not one that the vast majority of the people that I work with leverage. However, if you are earlier in your career, or perhaps you're even still in university and you're looking to get your first job, career fairs can be a great way of establishing relationships with recruiters at the companies that you want to work for. If there is a career fair in your area and the company that you want to work for is there, you should absolutely go to that career fair and have a conversation with the people that are at the table. But go above and beyond that. Establish a real conversation, real rapport, and make sure that you've done your research ahead of time. So when you walk away from the conversation, they have a crystal clear idea of what a great hire you would be. Essentially, I treat career fairs as a networking opportunity. It's an in-person event, and you can get to know people that can influence the hiring decision at the company that you actually want to work at. The fifth job search strategy is to get headhunted. This one is my personal favorite. Thinking about your job search like a marketer, this is an inbound lead. When you're headhunted, the recruiter or even the person making the hiring decision finds you, asks you to interview, and tries to convince you to accept the opportunity. And if this sounds ideal to you, click that like button, let me know. This job search strategy is incredibly powerful for so many reasons. There's no hoping and praying to get by the ATS or slogging through LinkedIn and seeing if you have a mutual connection that can refer you to the company. This is also an extremely high leverage position that you're going to be in as a job seeker because they found you. You weren't even looking, even if you are in general looking. And finally, when they find you, it's really appealing to the scarcity mindset. Like dating, you're way more interesting when you're not available, emotionally or otherwise. And if this sounds good, but you have no idea where to get started, really what you need to do in order to become a target for a headhunter or a recruiter is to establish your status as top talent in your role or in your industry. I don't have time to deep dive into that in this video. However, if you go to scaleyourstatus.com, I have a resource available for you. Now, I have a final and bonus tip for those of you who stuck around to get that valuable resource, and that is no matter what job search strategy you use, your most important asset in your job search is your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I recommend you do because I do have a few videos about how to optimize and leverage LinkedIn for your job search coming out over the next few weeks. In the meantime, this video is an excellent place to get started with 8 tips to stand out on LinkedIn. Before you go, if this video was helpful, make sure that you click that like button. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Oh, those events are so awkward. I can't stand them. Where my introverts at? I hate networking events.